And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Alright, Master Builder is a very interesting game. I haven't seen one like this. I mean, in a sense, the theme is, you are a great Master Builder in the Middle Ages. Okay, no, I'm not going to throw the game. Let's look a little bit farther. Maybe there's something more interesting in there. Although you might think they might think of a different theme once in a while. But anyway, so here we have Master Builder. But what's interesting about this is when you're building the parts of these buildings, rather than just, putting cards on the board, you're actually building three-dimensional buildings in this game. Woo! Now you have my attention again. That's interesting. And you're hiring workmen who have quirks that make them annoying and sometimes will quit you. Ooh, that's also interesting. Let's take a look at it and see if the gameplay is good, because now it's not just another medieval-themed game. There's no real board per se in the game. You have this here. This isn't so much a board. This keeps track of what thing you're doing each round. And then each player will get 2 tokens, one of their color, and to put in front of them, and the other to put here. And this will show you the total amount of the wages for your workers. So the game takes place over several rounds. And each of the round, the first thing you'll do is you hire or fire workers here. So there's 4 different types of workers here. There's master craftsmen, foremen, tradesmen, and apprentices. And each of these workers, the higher up they are, for example, the master craftsman can do a job that any of these guys can do. A foreman can do any job that these 2 guys can do, etc. But it costs $5,000 a round to pay for this guy. Now that's also an oddity of the game. Paper money. Boo! Paper money! But anyway, it just seems odd with this theme that you're using dollars for one and that you're paying in the thousands of them for these guys per round. But what have you. So you're going to hire these guys. You can hire whoever you want. You probably want a mixture. You have these apprentices. They're only 1,000, but hey, they're apprentices. But there's another thing. Take a look at this gentleman here. Okay, we got Corey Crook. And then next to him is Carl Careless. And you'll see that there's letters on them. There's different letters on the cards. If there's an N, like both these guys have, that means they're negligent. If there's a D, you're deceitful. So if you want to hire Corey Crook, that's fine, but he's negligent and deceitful. Maybe you would prefer to hire Phil here, who is just weak. Or this guy has an H on him, which means hot-tempered. Oh, look at this gentleman. He's negligent, deceitful, and hot-tempered. Why would anyone even buy this guy? But you can, and people do. And so everyone puts their marker here to show how much they're going to pay each round, and that's the first part of the game. Then we're going to put contracts out. Now, depending on each player, a certain number of contracts are going to come out each turn of the game. And these are contracts for different buildings. It will show a number, like for example here, Watchtower is a number 3. It will show you the building, how much you get when you pay for it, so it's $70,000. The cost, $6,000. Players are bidding on this contract. They have to start at $6,000, and you keep bidding until someone wins the contract. So you pay a certain amount, and these are the numbers of workers you're going to need for this contract. But again, this is one thing the game does well. There's a 3D visualization of that. Each contract, you can see, I have a different pile here, and this is the contract for number 3. Number 3 comes with 4 different pieces here. Well, more than that. There's actually more than 4, but you see we'll slide these pieces together like this. And we are slowly building this tower. Then once I get that done, it comes with 2 roof pieces. Now you build the roof pieces last, but you'll notice that each piece of this building shows what kind of worker is needed to do that piece. So here I have a 3-dimensional tower that you can build, and really all these pieces can be built into 3-dimensional buildings like that one. here you go. You can see the whole building. I mean, and it does look really cool. That set up all these different buildings. There's, several buildings that can be built, and like I showed you the contract card. Now, when you're building the building, you can build so many pieces per turn. It doesn't matter, but you have to have enough so that the building can stand by itself. So one piece isn't enough. You need at least two pieces like this. So, well, you can't even see that, like this, so that the building will stand up. And the roof has to be built last. You can't build the roof before anything else. So as you're building these pieces, there's going to be one other thing that happens on a turn. There's event cards, and there's a pile of these that come with the game. And these event cards are different things are going to happen. Like, for example, botched job. Workers with an N symbol are negligent and careless. All workers with an N symbol cannot be used to build this round. So you have to be careful because there's different cards in here for different people. Sometimes these are good, but usually they're bad cards that will affect everybody. During the bad weather, you can only send so many workers out. The count needs workers for a great building project. Workers with a W symbol had too much to drink and now have hangovers. You can either not pay them or you have to pay $2,000 to each one to make sure they work harder. So at the end of your turn, you have to pay your wages, which will be checked on the wages track. And if you happen to finish a building, you will get the price on that building. And then you simply go to the next round. And that's it. It's a very simple game, but you have to balance it out very carefully as you auction off and bid and all this, that the money that you have at the end is more than the money you started with. The game ends. Whoever has the most money is the winner. You can take loans out during the course of the game, but they cost quite a bit to pay back. See, $30,000, but you're going to have to pay back either $38,000 or at the end of the game you have to pay $40,000, which could really hurt your chances of winning. I don't know what it is about this game. There's some disconnect of theme maybe with this whole dollars thing, and the three-dimensional buildings are great. Great idea. I love it. The fact that they store terribly in the box. Yes, there's a spot to put them all in the box very carefully. It's not very laid out. There's numbers, but you still got to figure out how to put them in. It's kind of like a little puzzle. But as soon as you do this, there we go again, they're messed up. It's really annoying. So but anyway, they're cool. The cool feature of the game. But the game feels very slow, and it has the same feel of some of those auction-style games where if you make one mistake, you're out of the game. In the games that I played, it's come down to just a few dollars difference between people, just a little bit, and I just don't. That's good. I like close games, but you feel like you make one mistake and you've messed up because you have to sit there and gauge. Okay, I'm going to pay this much for this, and I'm going to get this much back. And then there is the occasional wild swing of luck which can really mess you up. You get some workers and it'll turn over and different workers will leave you. It's kind of tough to figure out where to keep that balance. I've done well at this game, but I'm not sure it's through good play and luck. And that bothers me because I don't mind luck. Lucky games are lots of fun and I might win a game and say, whoo, there but for the dice, go I. But in this game, it seems like strategy. But when you're done, you're like, did I really do the best? Or did the right card get pulled at the right time? I don't know. I just feel like I should like this one more than I do, but as of now, it's kind of just like, meh. Which is terrible because it has three-dimensional buildings. Have I mentioned that yet? I don't know. You choose.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.